Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome along to the Pure SimGear GT3 Masters Season 11, or as it's soon to be known, surely, the Christoph Stachecki Show. We'll find out why very, very shortly. My name is John Wright, aka Double O Raven. It's my great pleasure to be bringing you round number 5, a hotly contested 90 minutes at Watkins Glen. So a couple of changes in the championship, certainly in the silvers. In the pros, however, just mentioned Christoph Stachecki there. We'll get a look at the standings in a moment. As soon as I jump in there. There we go. But it is the Pure Sim Gear GT3 Master, sponsored, of course, by Pure Sim Gear, a business dedicated to sim racing racewear. They currently produce gloves and socks with specific sim racing features in mind. You can use the code FRIENDS of FRL15 for a discount at the checkout. And they're providing prizes. The pro winners will receive a voucher for gloves and socks, and the silver winner will also receive a voucher for a set of pro gloves. Who is in the running for said prizes? Well, and that's the silvers. Let's jump on to the pros. And as I said, Christoph Stachecki, it's been a clean sweep so far. He's finished first in every race, and just to add a bit of credence to just how quick Christoph is, he actually qualified in 5th place at the in the last race at Watkins Glen, but over the 90 minutes he managed to turn it round and get the job done and bring home the race win. As I say, it was a hotly contested race, which saw, there we go, Christoph come out on top, and it is a fairly mammoth lead that he's got up at the top of the field. There we go. So a couple of little technical hiccups in the background, but we're up and running. Good to see. Yeah, so Stachecki, that is a handsome 50-point lead that he's got over the rest of the field. The rest of the field, though, couldn't really be much closer. Zach Dahl and Benjamin Eck only separated by 7 points, with less than 10 points ahead of D'Angelo and Basolio. The SPQ are teammates 4th and 5th. They do have a 10-point gap over Melker Garvey, but he has finished as high as 5th. Francois Tassin in 7th. Daniel Tuda, Dennis Alaquia and Dennis Suarez. 3 drivers inside the top 10 that have all finished as high as 4th. They've had better finishing positions than 2 of the drivers ahead of them. Not quite reached the podium. Will they get there before the end of the season? We're going to find out. Is Christoph Stachecki going to drop around over the season? That's going to be a big ask as well. Martin Ulrich attops the table in a much closer silver division. We've got the silvers out on track for this one as well. And I have jumped into the wrong race server, so we'll have a quick look at that. Michael Firth in 4th place. It's easy to say. David Canton in 3rd as well. Let me just very quickly refamiliarise myself with some of the names out on track, because I did jump into the wrong race there. So yeah, let's have a look at the there we go. Excellent. Okay, so no differentiation on the standings, but there we go. On the telemetry tower, but yeah, we're definitely in the correct race now. So we've 6 minutes left of qualifying, and the race leader's livery's not working this week. Excellent. But that is the silver standings there. As I say, it is a lot closer in the silvers than it is in the pros. Stachecki, an absolute one-man machine in that division. in the silvers. As I say, it is a lot closer. The top 10 separated by 60 points. There's only 4 points separating the top 3, and David Canton there in third in the BMW. Didn't take part in race number 1, and Pablo Cortel didn't finish race number 4. Michael Firth with a couple of penalty points there as well, not too far behind either. Without those points, he would be a mere 7 points off the top of the charts as well. So as I say, very, very, very close in the silver division. But let us get to what it is we are all here to see. It is, of course, the drivers out on track. There we can see in qualifying at the moment. We are here for Oulton Park. It's an interesting circuit. It's one I absolutely struggle with. Did someone say Shell Oil Corner? There might as well be oil on the corner there. As far as I'm concerned. 2.6 miles long, built way back in 1953. Again, long time before I was aboard this planet. He might have started in 5th last week at Watkins Glen. He is 100th exactly ahead of Alec Zakdal, Christoph Stachecki in the McLaren, looking to rule the roost from start to finish potentially. It is, of course, the 1 hour race this evening, not the 90 minutes as last week. Refueling is not allowed once again in the race this evening, so the drivers will be running full fuel from the start of the race. There is a mandatory stop and drop pit stop with tyre change, but no fueling allowed. So we will see the lap times get quicker towards the end of the session. We'll see if anyone comes in for an early stop. But at the minute, qualifying is Stachecki doing all the running. He's got Alex Zakdal in second. Thomas Nopek, the Mad Panda, won't be too angry, I wouldn't have thought. Third place, not bad in this field. He's got a 2:10s gap back to Marco Keddy, who's currently in the pits. Melker Garby making an approach on the top 3s within half a second ahead of the first SPQR car. And the other one, oh yeah, D'Angelo is there, sorry, in the top 10. Of course, Simone with the 6/10s behind the lead, just under the 1 minute 33 mark. Benjamin Eck in 7th at the minute. Pithivier giving a bit of slipstream to the Mercedes. He's inside the top 10 ahead of D'Angelo. Kiko Gallo, Oliver Zhuwig, who's in the pits, he's in 12th at the minute. Sperla, Potter, Pereira, all off the pace at the minute. Francois Tassin yet to set a time. He might be on a quali ban actually. Given that we're 13 minutes in, yep, I think that's a fairly safe assumption. Stachecki down on his time. Simone Basolio, he's got a bit of time in his hands at the minute, so let's see what he can do through the lap. Oh, even just jumping on board this track fills me with absolute fear and dread. But it's absolutely one of those courses, if you get it right, you really can get it right. Let's see how right Basolio's got it. It's looking quite good on the deltas. But no improvement on his time. Into turn number 1, a very difficult right-hander. We could see a lot of overtake attempts here. It's this downhill section here, that kink to the right really can catch you out. Heavy on the brakes, back round to the left again through cascades. And we could definitely see a cascade effect through there on turn number 1 along Lakeside. No time to enjoy the view though, because it is the fast approach in Shell Oil Corner. Hold on tight. Scream if you want to go faster. I'm sure the shout on the waltzers. If you know, you know. Heading towards the Britain's chicane. And as you can see, those curbs on the way in, absolutely unforgiving. Not as unforgiving as they were on 1.8, but certainly you still want to be a Mercedes driver before you go smashing into those things. Into his lops and out of Knickerbrook. Back up the hill, over another little crest, of course, little dip, and then back up the hill and under the bridge, past the water tower, lap very almost done at this point. Only 2 corners left to go, but let's be under no illusions. They're not getting any easier at this point. Nice bit of undulation right through his corner towards Lodge. And then over, quite appropriately named Deer's Leap. Because, yeah, that is quite the dip. This is where we jumped on board with Simone. He's going to have time for another lap. This one looking good, and there is the time that he was promising on the last lap. That's a 1 minute 32.7 there for Basolio to put him within 4/10 of the pole position time, which is still held by Stachecki. Alex Zakdal certainly looking like he's got something to say about that at the minute. 2/10 to the good. Melker Garby as well. 3/10 to the good. If he brings this across the line, he's going to be mixing it with the front row. Row number 2 for Melker. Sneaks himself ahead of Basolio by 1700ths of a second. Alex Zakdal. He was 2/10 up. He's currently 1/10 up. He needs 100th of a second. Is he going to be leaping for joy over Deer's Leap? And across the line he goes. And he goes ahead. He carries almost exactly a 10th with him. He was 100th behind. He's 8500ths ahead now as Stachecki is in the pits. Kiko Gallo. Do love it when it spices up this early, even in qualifying. Kiko Gallo, the Eagles esports car. He has some time. He's still out on track. So too does Rafael Pereira. He won't be making an impression. He needs to find a bit more time, so he's maybe not had a good session so far. Gallo across the line finds a position, and Angelo pushed it outside the top 10. Pereira, the last driver out on track, he is going quicker in the Porsche. Benjamin Eck, the quickest Porsche himself, and Pithivier, identical. Wow, and Gallo as well, actually, identical times. Garby and Basolio, almost identical times. Not enough time for Pereira to finish that lap. And he pulls into the garage. So there is the qualifying times. There we go. Stachecki and Zakdal with identical sector 1s. Oh, this is going to be some race. Nopek and Garby starting on row number 2. Basolio and Keddy row number 3. Alaquea and Benjamin Eck on row 4. 9th and 10th side by side on row number 5 is going to be Pithivier and Gallo. The top 10 separated by 7/10 of a second. Eck, Pithivier and Gallo all hitting 1 minute 32.9. In fact, so too did Alaquea. 4 drivers hitting the same time to within a 10th. Not too shabby. Oliver Zewig and Potter. Sorry, Zewig. Oh no, D'Angelo as well. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, row number 6 for D'Angelo. Zewig joining him. Potter and Sverla on row 7. Row 8 is Pereira and Keenan Tassin serving a quali ban. He will start in 17th position. It is a 1 hour race for round number 5 of the Pure SimGear GT3 Masters Season 11. We've got the pros and silvers out on track, and thanks to the sponsor Pure SimGear, the winners in the pros will be receiving a voucher for gloves and socks. The silvers winner will receive a voucher for socks, for gloves, my apologies, pro gloves, no less. So massive thank you to Pure SimGear. They produce, of course, gloves and socks with specific sim racing features in mind. And if you do fancy picking yourself up some of their products, you can do it with a discount. Use the code FRIENDS of FRL15 for a discount at the checkout. And yeah, get yourself some top-end sim racing gear. There here, the drivers 4 seconds away from the warm-up lap. Oh, and we have a driver down already. Pereira has not hit drive. I almost didn't hit drive myself, but not as detrimental for me as it is for Pereira. Alex Zakdal going to great lengths to warm up the brakes in the first couple of yards. Yeah, Pereira starting from the pits. Oh, it is only the pros this evening. Yep, so it is only the pros. Welcome along everyone that is watching on YouTube, by the way. Thank you for tuning in. Hopefully everyone's enjoying the show. Guarantee you're going to enjoy the race. Please make sure you do give the channel a subscribe. So much sim racing action, all catalogued from the multitude of sim racing channels that FRL now have. Well, I forgot about the brake warming up. Let's jump up there so we don't hear the squealing. So yeah, give the stream a like if you don't mind. Thank you very much, and yeah, enjoy all the sim racing action. You can jump into Discord and get yourself involved as well, and of course on SimGrid, the host page, they're the best place to get yourself started. Give them a follow there. You can see all the championships, ACC, rFactor 2, a bit of rallying as well, PlayStation 5 and PC. There's Marco Kenny, in fact, one of the admins there. So yeah. If you want to get yourself involved in some top class racing, definitely the place to come. As we see the drivers on their warm-up lap. Some good conditions for the racing as well. Sorry, just checking the volumes. Hopefully the game volume's okay. If anyone is out there, if there is any issues with the volumes, do let me know. But yeah, good day for the racing. 25 degrees, so just about where the drivers like the temperature. No clouds in the sky. 12 o'clock in the afternoon local time. And the 1 hour drive with a mandatory pit stop, of course, for the mandatory tyre change. So with the conditions, we could easily see the drivers looking for easy going for a 40-50 minute stint, no problem. I think we will see the majority of them go for the 50-50. As we see them all coming up Deers Leap, the warm-up lap is done and dusted. Less than a tenth separating the top two in qualifying. We'll jump on board with Melker Garby and get as much of the field as we can. There's the green lights, it's foot down, it's flat out, it's flying into turn one, and it's a flyer of a start from Christoph Stachecki. It's called the Christoph Stachecki Show now for a reason. Melker Garby looking for a position on Thomas Nopek. Nopek managing to fend him off there. It's going to be Marco Keddy looking for a move into turn at number 3. He's got Basolio on the outside. The Mercedes has found the grip on the inside line and the acceleration there. Basolio losing out on a position. I think Alaquia, we'll see what happens there. He's made it up a couple of positions as well, so it's a good start for him. In fact, he's got ahead of Benjamin Eck. D'Angelo up inside the top 10 as well. He's made a position. He's made up one position as well. The Post Pereira has made his way out of the pit, so he is up and running, so no technical issues. Oh, and that's very close. Oh, and there's been contact. There has been contact there between the two of them. The stewards are going to have a look at that, I am sure. But let's see. Alex Zagdal there, so this has gone ever so slightly far back, but this is into Shell Oil Corner, so they make it through this one. For me, one of the most difficult corners in motorsport. It really is inviting. The McLaren looking a bit lively on the exit then. Aston Martin really got a good kick out of there as well. Just the gentlest of touches, enough to lift the back of the McLaren in the air, and it's puts the Checky right down the order then. Mad Panda Nopek, he's not mad now, he's up to second place. Garby's in third, Marco Keddy up to fourth, Simone Basolio fifth, Alaquia, where is the Checky? 8th place. He's fallen back into behind Benjamin Eck. That is going to be quite the overtaking battle there. Gallo and D'Angelo are going at it as well underneath the bridge. Jewig now finds himself in 11th. Pereira right down at the back of the field. Oh, we've got a Ferrari running wide in the background. Is that Francois Tassin? No, it's not, sorry. Francois Tassin's watching that one. It's Pithivier in the green Ferrari, of course, the NRE racing car right off the track there. We won't watch a replay. We'll jump on board with Marco Keddy and see what's going on up at the front with him. He's got a phenomenal view. He's got VIP front seats to the battle, as Christian Romano likes to say. Christian, of course, covering the rookies on the other side of the the YouTube channel here for Formula Racing League, so full copyright and credit to Christian for that one, but yeah, that's been stolen. Marco Kelly does have a VIP seat. We've got 8/10 of a second separating the top three, and we've got 8/10 of a second separating Basolio and Alaquia as well. Benjamin X still in the hunt. Stachecki in 8th position. Should we really just be watching the championship leader? He's just got the move done on Benjamin X. In fact, he's got it done before Shell Oil Corner. So very good drive back by Stachecki. Let's see what he can get done. Oh, and the Porsche of D'Angelo looking all kinds of lively there into the chicane. I did mention that one when we were watching his teammates set that blistering lap in the back, and the EMP Italia team looking for positions as well. It's Alex Zakdal still leading the way though in the Aston Martin. He did take pole position. He lost it off the roll and lost the lead off the roll and starting into turn number 1, and he has got himself back up there. Melker Garby in 3rd place. Marco Keddy up positions along with Basolio and Alaquia. Christoph Stachecki confirmation that's him past Eck up to 7th. Gallo in 9th with D'Angelo rounding out the top 10. Zubig and Pathivi 11th and 12th. Here comes Potter in 13th. Pereira is already past Sperla and Tassin. So Pereira started from the pits and Tassin started from the back. It does look like Sperla is carrying. That was easy for me to say. Cameraman, let's keep up a bit, shall we? Oh, and there is Tassin off into the grass. So that is, yeah, the FMP Italia car looks like it's carrying a bit of damage, and I'm not sure if Tassin is as well. Let's jump on the helmet cam and see just how close he gets. Along Lakeside, every part of this track has some kind of undulation, some kind of camber to deal with. Yeah, he got a bit too close. He's got a bit more pace there with the undamaged car and had to take avoiding accident, or that was going to be a full rear-ending. And yeah, the stewards are not a big fan of that, thankfully. But Alex Zakdal, that is the pace in qualifying, shining through. He's now got 1.3 on the rest of the chasing pack, and it is a pack that's chasing Nopet, Garby, Keddy, Basolio, Alaquia and Stachecki within 2 seconds of one another. Alaquia right in the middle of that bunch, setting the fastest lap on lap number 3. Again, all I'm going to talk about during this race is how closely matched they are, because right down the field still we can see Oliver Dewig. He's got Pathiviu, who had an off-track excursion on the previous lap in turn number 1. He's certainly looking to get himself back in the hunt here on lap number 4. Again, 3/10 there, and they've got D'Angelo just ahead of them in that Porsche. The Porsche looking very lively through Britain's, or certainly on the exit. Oh no, sorry, it wasn't Britain's, it was Hislop's. It was the next chicane, although just as I say that, right over that left-hand curve on the way out as well. It's not quite as unforgiving as the one on the way in, but it will certainly test your metal and your wrists if you've got a direct drive wheel above 4 Newton meters. Driver surviving this one. There's Benjamin X Porsche just ahead. D'Angelo looks like he's got Gallo's number at the minute. Well, I say he's got his number. He can't quite get his way past the McLaren driver at the minute. So doesn't quite have his number, but he's certainly keeping pace with him. Zewig coming under increasing pressure from Pathivier. They're heading towards Deer's Leap and into turn number 1 at the end of lap number 4. Zakdal takes the fastest lap. Nopek follows him across the line and takes it straight from him. Garby, Keddy, Basolio and Alaquia still only 1.2 seconds separating him. Stachecki is on the back of this pack as well. If we look on Dennis Alaquia's rear spoiler, it's no wonder he was setting fastest laps, because here comes Stachecki looking to get himself back involved in this battle. Alaquia can see the rear spoiler of Basolio, bit of dust being kicked up. Melker Garby, he's going to be feeling the pressure very soon. So too will the Mercedes. The Mercedes will be better than the Ferrari over the curb, so we should see Keddy get himself a bit of a gap here. Oh yeah, you can see so much more fun. Oh, in the back of the Ferrari's gone. Oh, and Dennis has given him a bit of a bump draft start again. Not really much else he could do there. How much has that brought Stachecki into the hunt through his lops? Oh, this is going to be interesting. There's turn one at the end of this lap, that is for sure. Look how close he's got through his laps. He is hunting down that top spot. He started 5th place last time at Watkins Glen and still won the race, making it 4 from 4. Is it going to be 5 from 5? If it is, he's going to do it on a comeback from 8th place. Anybody want to bet against him? Nope, didn't think so. Here he is, all right on the back of Alaquia, who's had to lose a bit of time to Basolio. Basolio's lost a bit of time to Keddy as well, as suspected. Over those curves, the Mercedes able to handle them much better. Alexander handling the lead phenomenally up at the front. Oh, Nopeg, I was about to say Nopeg too is having a good race there as well. He was looking very settled. Precursor the commentator, I only thought that, and I managed to curse the poor driver. He's been having a very good race so far. He'd set the fastest lap as well. Heading towards the lead, bit extra steering input on the exit to the penultimate corner. Over to the, again, so much undulation over this track. It just really is a test. Oh, and the car's just understeered, carrying a bit too much pace as well. So he's lost a bit of time there to Zagdal. 2 seconds is now the gap. Wow, really keen on the inside of that. That's surely going to be a warning from the in-game stewards. Alaquia has been overtaken by Stachecki. So let's go back and see if we can catch that. This is Stachecki that we're on board with. I did say, I hate to say it was going, I did say that it was going to be interesting at turn 1, not quite close enough. I thought, oh, and there we go, it's the exit to turn number 1, so that is the McLaren almost losing it. So Nompek making it an interesting podium battle on the way into the corner. Oh, and really struggling to hold the back of the car there. Alaquia lighting up the back tyres on the exit to turn number 2. And he's instantly dropped a whole lot of time to Stachecki that he really does not want to be losing. How will he be able to catch up to Stachecki before Stachecki can get past Basolio? Basolio now lapping exactly the same time as Keddy, but they're both lapping slightly quicker than Melker Garby. It does look like Keddy can now concentrate on Garby ahead of him, without having to worry too much about defending from Basolio, especially now that Basolio is going to be defending from championship leader Christoph Stachecki. Alex Zagdal doing exactly what he needs to do. He's got a 2.3 second gap up at the front. We've seen no one come in for an early pit stop, 26 degrees, so yeah, the drivers are likely to run as long as possible, at least halfway, no cloud cover whatsoever, so the tarmac you would think is only going to increase. Just as I say that, Simon Sperla comes in. We did see some damage on his McLaren though, so that could be a deciding factor for the FMP Italia driver. 16th position at the minute, still got 49 minutes to bring it back. We've got Gallo and D'Angelo. Where do we even look for a battle at the minute? Every place. We've got Keddy still very much in the hunt. Basolio, so is Stachecki. Let's keep an eye on the battle here. This is for the top 5 and potentially race wins further down the line. Christoph Stachecki finds himself back in 6th position, and that is the rear spoiler of Basolio that is getting bigger and bigger and bigger in front of him again. It's all about turn number 1 here. Can Basolio hold his nerve? A couple of drivers haven't been able to in the top 5 in the past couple of laps, and Basolio absolutely on the ragged edge there, getting the job done, opening the space back out. He has got the nerve to hold off Stachecki through turn 1. Can Stachecki find the move through the chicanes? It is McLaren versus Ferrari, while Keddy tries to get a position done involving another McLaren. Melker Garby, he's found some pace. Stachecki so much later on the brakes. It looked like he ran ever so slightly deep there. Very smooth for both of them, a lot smoother for Stachecki. Is that going to make a difference into his slops? Not quite going to be close enough, but really is getting close. Oh, and he's gone full send, and he's made a bit of a meal of that, and he's ended up right up the inside line. And that has not worked well there. I'm not sure how aware Basolio was. It did seem like he would have been up the inside there, but Basolio, no place to go. and takes a slightly wayward McLaren up the inside. It's the Checky tumbling down the order, down to 11th position. Potentially going to lose another couple of positions there. Oh, way too late on the brakes. Oh, and he turned. Oh, yeah, so Basolio. Not. I mean, that could have been a lot worse for Basolio. It's certainly not what he needs at that stage of the race, or at any stage of the race. He's now 2.7 behind on Keddy after doing some good work to hang with him. Still just Checky was ready to pounce. Alaquin now finds himself promoted to 7th. The lively rear-ended McLaren back up. Sorry, 6th place. Benjamin Eck is the Porsche was looking at in the background. He is in 7th. The Checky confirmed in 11th place. So he's got it all to do again, and we've got a wayward car in the background. That is the Lamborghini of Potter there. Wayward into turn number 2. No damage on the car. So is this another potential problem on the exit of turn 1? No, he's got turn 1 absolutely fine. So just, yeah, a bit of driver error down the hill. Oh yeah, the back of the Lamborghini, absolutely not happy to grip there at all for Potter. That's going to see him tumble down the order. Sperla is back out of the pits, off and running. Helicam is a bit far on this. We really don't hear the engine sounds. There we go. Kerry within 8/10. Basolio has lost a bit more time through those last couple of sectors as well. D'Angelo still pressuring Kiko Gallo at the minute, not able to find a way past. That could well be hurried on by the impending battle. Oh, and that is a big look up the inside from Benjamin Eck. He was a bit far back there. It's caused a big old bunch up there, and it's going to be a straight drag race between the two Porsches. D'Angelo can't believe his luck. They're going to go firing into turn number 1 with a side-by-side in the background as well. We'll try and catch them both. D'Angelo, is he falling foul to the cutback, and they're going to go for a straight drag race. That is the McLaren Zhuwig that's come through right behind them. We're maybe not going to get a replay because they are still on. It's D'Angelo that makes the move stick then. D'Angelo, the big beneficiary. There's the Checky up a position as well. Let's have a look back and see if we can catch how some of that unfolded. I don't think we can. Yeah, we can actually. So here is D'Angelo. He is behind the McLaren. Yeah, so Benjamin Eck. Let's have a look here. So he is chasing. Oh, and that is a big far back, and that is a bit of a nudge in the braking zone. It's left one car wide, and D'Angelo absolutely flies through. Can't believe his luck there as the other cars were taking avoiding action. There we can see Zhuwig, Gallo, 2 of those cars, and Stachecki having a look up the inside of turn number 1 as well. Can he fortuitously take a position 2? Well, that was the 2 Porsches were battling up at the front. This is the side-by-side that we saw a glimpse of in the background. Oh, and Stachecki really keen to get the move done early there through 2 wheels on the outside of the curb, and there won't be any grip out there. That would have made braking a lot more difficult. And we're seeing positions settling down, or certainly the timing tower has settled down since all that was going on. Dennis Alaquia is no longer in the race. He was in the pits, and he is not anymore. Pereira up to 12th position. After starting from the pits, didn't manage to hit driving time, so he started from the pits. Kiko Gallo now in 10th, Christoph Stachecki in 9th position. Got Zhuwig in 8th, Benjamin Eck in 7th, D'Angelo in 6th place, Simone Basolio is in 5th position, Marco Keddy in the Mercedes. He's never been in a McLaren. He's in 4th place, Melker Garby in 3rd, Thomas Nopek in 2nd place, and Alec, see you later, Zakdal. The FRL Racing Team Algreen's Bilar car. No way I'm getting that even remotely correct. But yeah, he is leading the way. We are 10 laps into this one. He's got the fastest lap under his belt of 1:33.0. So only 8/10 off his qualifying time, and we're only 17 minutes into this. Of course, again, quick reminder, the drivers are on full fuel. There is no refueling allowed during the mandatory stop for tyres. There was during the last race, the 90-minute race Watkins Glen, the cars won't do an hour and a half without refuel, so it was fueling was allowed during that race, but no fuel during the pit stops in this one. 11 laps under the belt for most of the drivers. There's Pithivier climbing all over the back of Gallo. Gallo's found himself back down in 10th with Zurich ahead of him. Stachecki back up to 8th position, and there we can see in the foreground very close to Benjamin X. So we'll jump back up and see what Stachecki is doing through turn 2. Along Lakeside there is D'Angelo 6th position, himself and Basolio 5th and 6th. So yeah, very happy team. I'm sure they will be at the minute into Shell Oil corner. Stachecki definitely looking the quicker of the two, looking for any advantage that he can, taking a slightly wider line in just to carry that a little bit more pace. The Porsche and the McLaren both firing right over the curves like they're not there. Pithivier, does he have Gallo's number at this point? No, he does not. Let's have a look back at Benjamin Eck and Stachecki. His lops it is. Good to see the tyres didn't last long. Bit of a tradition at the British tracks. Stachecki got 2.10s there, 3.2 up at the front. And they are, starting to settle into their stride in the top 10. In the top 5. Oh, and that is a very good move there. As Benjamin Eck made a bit of a mistake. We'll go back and watch that one again. Oh, he's coming at the pits. So there we go, as the drivers do like to do, and prove us commentators wrong. This is why we commentate and they drive. He's in at the pits well before the halfway mark. Although these races do tend to fly by, so we might be at the halfway mark already, but surely not. So just was on the outside line, and the McLaren, so the McLaren just beat him bank of rights on the corner exit, got the car positioned up the inside. And comes in to take his pit stop. Done with that battle. Benjamin Eck in for the mandatory tyre change with only 20 minutes gone in the race, so a 40-minute stint. Going for the Uber undercut. See what the tyres are like at the end. The track's still sitting at 26 degrees, so still only up that 1 degree since the race start. Eck will join Potter and Sperlet as pitted drivers, and he is actually behind Simone Sperla. The car that was carrying damage is ahead of Benjamin Eck, who was battling with Christoph Stachecki for 7th position. The Uber undercut works. Will he have enough rubber left on the tyres though come the end of the race? We will see, but the open track certainly working in Sperla's favour. Oliver Zurich still coming under pressure. It is from Gallo this time. Pithivier still very much in the hunt for this one as well. Garby 2.1 seconds behind Nopek. Nopek now 4 seconds behind Zakdal. Zakdal's closest challenger in qualifying, of course, was Stachecki. He's now 8/10 up the road. Gallo half a second, Pithivier 8/10 of a second. Along Lakeside, it's the battle of the McLarens. Keddy keeping it within a second of Garby, and Basolio, I think, is he carrying a bit of damage? He's certainly losing time to Keddy, a lot more time. He's losing time at a higher rate than he was to Keddy earlier on. He was maybe losing a 10th or 2 a lap. That's now half a second over a few sectors. A little bit of a netcode glitch there, and what we're seeing, let's have a look and see if Stachecki can get the move done on Basolio's teammate D'Angelo. They've made their way through his lots. This is going to be another fun turn one. Look how close they are, you know, as they go up to Deers, up and over Deers Leap. This is going to be splitter to splitter. Could see the first amalgamation of a Porsche and a McLaren badge live on stream. It's going to be a very good exit from the last turn from Stichecki and over Deer's Leap. They are nose to tail. Let's see just how close they're going to get into turn number 1. Not this time actually. The Porsche doing some good running on that exit. Both of them violently hitting those curves through turn number 1. Kiko Gallo comes into the pits as well. And in fact, I'm guilty of bringing you some fake news because Benjamin Eck is actually comfortably ahead. Oh no, he's not. Oh, he's a lap up. So Sperla is my apologies. So Sperla is physically ahead of Benjamin Eck on track just, but he is a lap down because of the amount of time that he spent in the pits. So there we go. So he's not currently challenging for the top 10, which is, yeah, that's a bit disappointing for everyone concerned. I think I was looking forward to that. I'm sure the viewers are as well. And I'm sure Sperla would love to be more involved in the top 10, but at the minute he is that extra lap down on Eck. Let's watch Stichecki into his laps once again. He's got the Porsche of D'Angelo firmly in his sights. D'Angelo wrestling that Porsche through the chicane. What we're going to see over Deer's Leap this time. Under the bridge they go, past the water tower. A little bit of shade on the track from the trees, not much at all though. Again, no cloud cover, 26-degree track temperature. Could well get a bit hotter as the race progresses. Maybe a degree or two, so shouldn't have too much of a detrimental effect on the drivers, especially as the weight of the cars will come down. And there is Stichecki. He's done with that battle. He's coming in to the pit 7th position when he came in. D'Angelo can now get his eyes forward, look to close in on his teammate, give him a bit of a support ahead. He can see the battle for the final podium position ahead of him in the shape of Marco Keddy and Melker Garby, still 4th and 3rd respectively. Thomas Nopek has found a bit of pace over the last couple of laps. Alex Zagdal now only 3 seconds ahead. He is coming to blue flag traffic. That is Potter, who's about to go a lap down like Sperla. We saw that big spin from the back of the Lambo. Zagdal will be keen to quickly make his way past. Pithivier still looking racy behind Zhuwig. He's got that place in the top 10. We'll see how the pit stops play out for him. This the Stichecki back out of the pits in 10th. And that looks like it's a good pit stop. He's got some nice clear track ahead of him. He was less than a 10th slower than Zagdal in qualifying. He'll be looking to mirror that type of pace. And yeah, use that free track as much to his advantage as possible. Zagdal over the front gets another lap under his belt, and another driver goes a lap down to him, 3.3 seconds, so he has gone 3/10 quicker than Nopek on that last lap, so definitely managing that gap at the minute. I don't think he'll be in any great rush to answer the other drivers coming into the pits, and as I say that, D'Angelo, who was fending off Stichecki, does come into the pits, so too does Pithivier, so we'll get an instant answer as to does the undercut work, although having the second quickest driver out on track is one of the two involved, maybe not the best way to figure that out. Let's see what D'Angelo can do, though. It is a mandatory tyre change, so it will be the agonising 30 seconds that they are stationary for. Here comes Stichecki. D'Angelo has been released. Stichecki fires across the start-finish line, and the undercut definitely works. I mean, oh, and D'Angelo drive through for speed in the pit lane. He's returned to the garage straight away. That's not going to help the cause, and he's disconnected. Wow. So oh, that's going to be costly in the championship. That is going to be costly in the championship. He's already got a 10th place as he's dropped round. Oh, definitely would have been better to finish that and bring home the points there. But D'Angelo Straight out the door, Thomas Nopek into the lead as Alex Zakdal comes into the pits with Marco Keddy hot on his heels. Oliver Zhuwig has come into the pits as well. D'Angelo's still showing there, so let's make sure we don't read that name out again, because he's not in the race. It's Stachecki up to that 8th position. Pereira up to 4th overall after starting in the pits. We're approaching the halfway mark. Benjamin Eck is approaching the back of Kiko Gallo. These two out of the pits and battling away. Pithivier could well catch up to what's going on ahead. He's certainly shown pace to match these two already. Melker Garvey and Simone Basolio in 2nd and 3rd at the minute. They've got 30 seconds up on Pereira, as we just saw in that 4th place. Benjamin Eck and Kiko Gallo. The closest battle that we've got are the closest cars on track that are on the same lap and strategy at the minute. 4 cars ahead. Marco Keddy now 7.5 seconds behind Alex Zakdal. Here comes Thomas Nopek into the pit, so too Melker Garvey. Of course, Garvey will be hoping that the undercut isn't as strong as it's already looked, and he's going to find himself behind Marco Keddy. Basolio comes into the pits as well, so we're going to have one driver left. Pithivier is catching up to the back of this battle, so much so yeah, he's right on the back of Zhuwig. Is Gallo in the McLaren ahead. Nopek is stationary. Let's have a look and see where Marco Keddy is. I think that's going to be the interesting one between himself and Melker Garvey. If he gets ahead of Thomas Nopek, that's a worldie. There is Nopek. The undercut not quite working for him. Melker Garvey is back out of the pits. You can hear that Mercedes engine coming into turn number 1, but it is too little too late through turn number 1. Keddy will be back out in 4th position when Pereira comes in. Well, lively looking Mercedes on the cold tyres. It won't take long to warm them up. 26-degree track temperature still, so yeah, still a good temperature for the drivers. So out on track, we've still got Zhuwig and Pithivier battling for position. Alex Zakdal is still the race leader. No, Pereira is the on-track leader. He's still got to come at the pits, and Zakdal is actually catching up to the back of him. That gap now less than 6 seconds. Nopek is held on to 2nd, and Melker Garvey has held on to 3rd. He's got Marco Keddy 3.2 seconds down the road. Basolio, yes, so that put Marco Keddy in 4th place. Basolio in 5th. He's got Christoph Stachecki all over the back of him. So Basolio, I'm sure, would have been hoping for a bit of a hand from his teammate. The Ferrari and the Porsche teammates could have certainly worked well together to try and fend off the advances of Stachecki. Not to be though. It is Basolio going lone gunner against the now fastest driver out on track, Christoph Stachecki, with a 1 minute 32.880. Zakdal not finding any improvement on the 33.0 that he set earlier on in the race. But again, the cars are running full race fuel right from the start, and it's going to be a full race into turn number 1 between the Macca and the Ferrari. Or maybe it isn't actually, not quite the exit that Stachecki was looking for from the final corner, but he is very close now. He's having a look into turn number 2, full send. He's opened right up on the corners. He managed to hold it just about. Keeps it between the mayo and the mustard. From this angle, it's very difficult to tell who's actually in front. I think Stachecki's got his nose just. No, he doesn't. It is the Ferrari of Basolio, the SPQR driver, coming back and fighting back. Oh, and he takes a big old tap on the rear there on the way into Shell Oil Corner. Stachecki holds his fire so as not to take the position. Lets the Ferrari get running again. So yeah, he may well still get a penalty from the stewards. It won't be quite as severe though, because he has redressed the position into Shell Oil Corner. Oh, he's, yeah, very quickly he was moving there indeed. And yeah, that's yeah, another contact into Shell Oil Corner for Stachecki. And you can see he backs out of it there again to make sure he doesn't benefit from the action. But yeah, that battle will then continue. Is that going to be enough to keep Stachecki from the podium? I know we've still got 27 minutes left to go, but he really does need to find a fair bit of pace to catch up to the drivers ahead. Zakdal still running very quickly up there, despite having his fastest lap 2:10 slower than Stachecki. In fact, only a 10 slower. He's just gone sub 1 minute 33. So the lap times are going to keep tumbling as the fuel levels tumble and the weight of the cars drops as well through turn number 1, almost an exact mirror image. What we saw though this time around is Stachecki goes for the outside. Did my eyes deceive me there? Let's just check this one from Helicam. So let's see, did Basolio make himself a bit of a mistake? I think he either made himself a bit of a mistake or just decided to give up the fighting, because Stachecki is, I mean, he's the quickest driver on track and he could just be looking to get to the end of the race, or might have made a bit of a mistake there. We'd have to see the onboard telemetry, but that is Stachecki back up to 5th position. I did think he'd have another lap or two at least behind Basolio, so maybe the podium hunt is back on. If he is going to get on the podium, it's going to have to be at the expense of both Marco Keddy and Melker Garby's potential positions on there. Garby is the holder of the final position on the podium at the minute, as we've reached and breached the halfway mark of the race. Thomas Nopek still in second in the Mad Panda Motorsport machine, and Alex Zakdal in the Aston leading the way for FRL. That is Potter ahead of him once again, so could go another lap down here. Let's see if Basolio can keep pace with Stachecki ahead. Through turn number 2 to go. Really do use every single millimetre of this track. And heavy on the brakes once again. Oh, and he's run just that ever so slight bit deep. And there you can see Stachecki is going to pull away into the first of the 2 rapid fire chicanes, really on that curve as well. And there goes Stachecki. So yeah, Basolio, maybe not too bad an idea to get out of Stachecki's way and just give him the position if he is that much quicker, rather than soaking up all that pressure of the quicker driver. Just let them go and worry about your own race. He is 6th at the minute, so some good points he's going to bring home in the championship. It's going to move him ahead of his teammate actually, who jumped out of the server after picking up a drive-through for speeding in the pit lane. So yeah, this is going to see Basolio move ahead of him and up into 4th in the championship, and he's he's a position or 2 ahead of Benjamin Eck as well. So this really is moving into yeah, so there we go. That's exactly why Basolio just lets Stachecki get on with his race. He's in the hunt for 3rd in the championship. Alex Zakdal 2nd in the championship at the minute. But even with this race win, Stachecki just needs to bring home some points here. He's got a 50-point gap, as we saw in the opening. 4 wins from 4. I'm sure we'll be looking for more points, but the pace up at the front is pretty close. It really is, as Melker Garby goes sub 1 minute 33 as well. Marco Keddy still running low 1 minute 33s. 23 minutes of this one left to go. It's round number 5 of the Pure SimGear GT3 Masters Season 11. Pure SimGear, a company dedicated to sim racing racewear, with socks and gloves with specific sim racing features engineered in there. If you are looking to get yourself some of their sim racing gear, then do use friends of FRL 15 at the checkout for a discount. And yeah, thank you to Pure Sim Gear for supporting the league. Of course, the winners of the winner, of the Pro League will get a voucher for gloves and socks, and the winner of the silvers will get themselves a voucher for a pair of Pro gloves. A set of gloves? A pair of gloves. As we see Benjamin Eck over Deer's leap once again. 23 solid laps under the Porsche driver's belt. He's still within striking distance of Oliver Zhuwig, and we've seen this course can bite at absolutely any moment. So no time for the drivers to relax. Basolio keeping good pace with Stachecki, still 1.2 seconds down, but not lost pace as quickly as some of the other drivers have. Kiko Gallo still fending off Oliver Zhuwig, who is still fending off Benjamin Eck there. Pithivier rounding out the top 10. Pereira starting from the pits, he's in 11th. Tassin starting from the back without a quality time set, up to 12th place. Potter and Sperla a lap down on the rest of the field, 13th and 14th. Sperla picking up that unfortunate damage early doors. But still showing some good lap times. Potter too into the 1 minute 33s as well. So just not so much massively outpaced, just not the race and not really going their way. We did see Potter's Lamborghini completely give up the ghost on her. Just absolutely stepped out, trying to send him into oblivion. Oh, and there we go, Francois Tassin. That's gone bad to worse for Francois, and he's off into the grass. And you hate to see it, but that is probably going to be a rage quit, as they say. And yep, there he goes, return to garage and stay at the server. The drive-through would have seen him still finish ahead of Sperla and Potter, actually. But good news for Sperla and Potter. They both hung in there to the end of the race. That's them promoted another place, an extra few points on their tally for the season. Benjamin Eck, as you can see, coming through. Oh no, that's not sector 2, my apologies, that's turn 2. So there we go, completely lost my bearings. I thought that was on the way into his laps there, but it's not really coming towards Lakeside. The McLaren driver, see, for me, under that circumstance, I wouldn't be moving left and right to try and break the slipstream. If the driver's closing in, they're closing in. Yeah, taking yourself off your driving line, or certainly I know for myself, when I try and get clever and, I'll move here and move there, it never ends well. It never ends well. But again, yeah, maybe a stark reminder as to why I've got a microphone in my hand, and these drivers have got steering wheels, or joypads, or mouse and keyboard, whichever they use. Because there is people out there to do this on a mouse and keyboard. Again, incredible. But Benjamin Eck, he's still hunting down Zhuwig in that McLaren. Up in the front, Alex Zarkdal doing everything he needs to bring home a first race win. The first driver not called, Christoph Stachecki, to win a race. Question. 3 seconds ahead of Thomas Nopek, who's just taken the fastest lap of the race with a 1 minute 32.7. Qualifying time is a 1 minute 32.2. I do expect to see the drivers get pretty close to that as the fuel depletes, because I'm sure a lot of them will have exactly the amount of fuel required, so there'll only be a couple of litres left when they get to the end. And the vast majority pitted about the halfway mark, so they should have some decent grip left on the tyres in the closing stages. How much grip's going to be left on the front of Benjamin Eck's Porsche tyres? There's, and there we go. And he's absolutely styled that one out. Let's jump on to Helmut Kamm while I properly formulate the sentence I was trying to previously. Benjamin Eck front tyres, how good are they going to be looking come the end of the race? He spent a lot of time in the slipstream, so they will be doing a lot more work than they're used to. Let's see. Oh, it really is chased. Oh yeah, there we go. Double shake to the right, please, bartender. And Benjamin Eck keeps the Porsche between the mayo and the mustard. Keeps himself just about in the hunt, but does give Oliver Zhuwig the biggest gap that he's had for about 6 or 7 laps, and certainly since coming out of the pits. So we'll see what the vivid global racing driver can do. With some clear track front and back, can he stretch out the gap? Can Eck catch back up? Thomas Nopek certainly catching up to Alex Zarkdal. That gap now below 3 seconds for the first time since lap number 4. And in fact, I've set once again. Oh no, sorry. I was about to say they've once again set identical Sector 1 times, but it was of course Zakdal and Stachecki that set identical Sector 1 times in qualifying. But Nopek certainly matching Zakdal through Sector 1 there. We'll keep a wither eye on that gap. Melker Garby still on that podium. The McLaren driver looking very good here for Cara Motorsports. He's now got 5.1 seconds on Marco Keddy. I almost said Melker Keddy there. I can't say Melker Keddy apparently, so it's just as well I didn't. Stachecki 8.4 seconds down the road. Basolio now 2.8, so certainly a clean pair of heels there from Stachecki to Basolio. But again, Basolio, he is thinking ahead. He's seen he'll know his teammates are disconnected. He'll be acutely aware of the point standing. He's 9 points behind his teammate, and he is less than 20 points behind Benjamin Eck. So it's much more important for Benjamin Eck to get the overtake done on Zhuwig than it was for Basolio to defend the position from Stachecki. And he'll also know 16 minutes, at the time there's about 22 minutes left of Oulton Park. He'll be acutely aware that Stachecki is potentially, well, he must have made a mistake or two and been involved in incidents, because he's down in 5th and he started in 2nd, took the race lead. Nopek put back in his place there by Zakdal, 3/10 back into Zakdal's pocket. The seconds back up to 3 once again, and that's before they've reached the chicane, so that is a very good sector 2 there by Alex Zakdal to keep that gap at 3 seconds. It did seem like he was managing the gap towards the end of his stint before his pit stop, and it looks like he's doing so again. He doesn't have any more traffic. He shouldn't reach any more traffic before the end of the race. The Mercedes driver really firing through his laps there. Absolute commitment to the amount of grip that they're going to get out the back of that very, very, very long car. Melker Garby follows through it. Another tour past the water tower. It is Stachecki within 8 seconds. So that 4th place is looking ever more unlikely, is where we're going with that one as well. But yeah, ever more unlikely, down to 7.6. So he is making time on Keddy, but at this rate it's going to take him, it's going to take him a few laps to catch up, and then he's actually got to get past Keddy as well in the Merc. That might not be the easiest of tasks. He's only found the 10th there through that sector, so yeah, he could get close. Can he get close enough? Nopek brings it back down to just below 3 seconds. So they are just trading lap times up at the front. Garby and Keddy now separated by equilibrious gaps as well. 5 seconds now separate those two from the drivers ahead. Keddy, of course, still chasing Garby there. Garby looking very good for the podium. Still up on track, we've got Simone Sperla. Had to come in fairly early, get some damage repaired, but he's come back out. He's a couple of laps down on the leader, but he is going to bring himself home points for 13th place. He's got Graham Potter, the wayward Lamborghini early doors. He is righted the ship as well. 12th position, thanks to a couple of disconnects with Rafael Pereira, the AO Racing Porsche, just outside the top 10, but 11th place for a driver that started in the pits is not too bad. In this field, Louis Pithivier has made his way into the top 10, and he stayed there. 10th place still with Benjamin Eck in 9th. Oliver Zhuwig hanging on to 8th place for the moment. Can he fend off the advances of Benjamin Eck there in 9th? Kiko Gallo in 7th place. The Eagles esports driver's got a nice bit of track front and back as well. So yeah, head down. Full concentration mode's engaged. 13 minutes to bring home 7th place. Simone Basolio crosses the line to finish lap number 29. 3.3 seconds now down on Stachecki, but he is going to be bringing home the glory for 6th. And yeah, the scoring page still hasn't opened yet. Any second now will, so I can just check. Yeah, so 54 points he's going to find himself with. Benjamin Eck currently looking at 45. That's going to be an 11-point swing in Basolio's favour. So still going to put him behind, 10 points behind Benjamin Eck, but that's, yeah, 11 points closer with the a couple of rounds still to come. Of course, we have Zandvoort and Indianapolis. Zandvoort is going to be absolutely incredible. And yeah, Indianapolis to finish it off. So Basolio most definitely still in the hunt for third in the championship. The way things stand, Thomas Nopek and Melker Garby could have something to say about that battle, as well as these two looking to bring home podiums. And Thomas Nopek, is he looking to bring home the race win? He's just got 8 tenths. Oh no, my apologies. Oh yeah, he has 2 tenths. Sorry, 2 or 3 tenths. Yep, got myself overly excited there. Looked at 2 different columns at the same time. He has gone quicker. They got 2.5 seconds. It was a bit closer than that across the line. Still at 2.5 seconds through sector number 1. They are identically matched through sector number 1. The Aston and the Merc. And so too is the McLaren, actually, because again, Stachecki and Zakdal set an identical sector 1 times in qualifying, or fastest sector 1 times in qualifying. So that's some drive by the top 3. Is Nopek going to make this a grandstand finish? He's going to bring home the points for fastest lap as well, which is it's a point. It is 1 point, not 2 points in this league, sorry. So yeah, the extra point for the fastest lap. So yeah, that's going to do him well. He's currently ahead of Gallo and Keddy in the standings. Pithivier as well. Potter is going to get some good points. Sperla, he is currently just outside the top 10. And Suarez ahead of him is disconnected as well. This is going to have massive ramifications for the Pro Championships. It is always better to finish your race and bring home whatever points you can. Especially in a series this long. There's more than one race to skin a cat. Definitely not a terrible way to cross analogies there. No, not even an analogy, but there we go. 31 laps under the belts, 10 minutes left to go of round number 5. Oulton Park, a cruel mistress for the racers, sim and real. Up at the top was a cracker for the viewers and for the commentators. I can assure you I've been loving this one. 2 seconds now separating the top 2 as the track temperature decides to increase by a degree in the closing stages. Won't have much of an effect. Again, the cars will be running a lot lighter. So we'll see if we can see any further improvements on the fastest lap time. Zakdal has gotten to within a tenth of Nopek's fastest lap. Melker Garby 132.9, no improvement on Stachecki's lap. Slight improvement on his position, but Keddy more than matching pace with him at the minute. I did think he'd spent an extra couple of laps behind Basolio, but it would appear even those 2 laps might not have been enough, or won't have been enough. To be fair, still sitting at 6.8. Nopek 2.1 seconds, crosses the line 2.2 seconds. Oh, tantalisingly close. Just the threat of the battle for the race lead. Alex Agda will have to be absolutely dialed in for these final few laps. 32 of them already done. 1 minute 33.3 on that last lap. Nopek with a 133.1. The gap should sit at exactly 2.2. Oh no, 2 tenths Nopek finds through sector 1. Is he going to close up in the closing stages? Pithivier getting closer to Benjamin Eck as well. 1.1 second is the gap there, so we'll need to keep an eye on that one as well. Basolio still dropping time to Stachecki, but still gaining massive amounts of points on the rest of the field. Stachecki, this is the first time he won't be on the podium, and it's the first time he won't be on the top spot of the podium. Winning is certainly a difficult habit to break, they say. I have absolutely no idea or comprehension of what that's like. But yes, the Checky, we'll see how he bounces back next week at Zandvoort. Another tight and twisty track. Doesn't quite have the elevation changes, of course, that Oulton does. But it is a very close side-by-side affair. Oh, and speaking of close side-by-side affairs, they've gotten a bit close and maybe a bit too side-by-side. Pithivier and Benjamin Eck. Benjamin Eck, this is really positions that he doesn't need to be losing. That is going to lose him even more ground to Basolio. Basolio is going to be even more delighted that he's lit the Checky past and not got caught up in an elongated battle. Into Shell Oil corner, the Ferrari a little bit far back there. They both end up spinning, and Pithivier, oh, straight on the accelerator as well, and you hate to see it. Benjamin Eck really struggling to hold on to the back of the car. That little bit of damage, that little bit of instability on one sector of the car, and it really does make it an interesting couple of laps as you find out the hard way exactly what's wrong with the car. Up at the front, potentially about to do it the hard way, Alex Zakdal. He still is on for the race win, but Thomas Nopek is now within 2 seconds. This is the closest they've been since lap number 2. That was 31 laps and 2 degrees, 2 whole degrees at track temperature. I'm such a geek for the stats, and I can only apologise. They've matched one another through sector number 2, and Nopek has found more time. I hate to even verbalise this out loud, but is Zakdal potentially having a fuel save? Remember, these drivers will look for every and any advantage they can get, and running the fuel calculations and fuel tank as close to the minimum amount required is absolutely something that these drivers will look to do. Through sector 3 on lap 34, they've matched one another for pace. Potter's come into pits, and Sperla's made up a position. Simone Sperla up to 12th place as Potter comes into the pits. If I was going to hazard the guess, I would say it's maybe tyres, because the back of that Lambo was looking lively. Oh, and Nopek, speaking of looking lively, he really did throw that into Shell Oil corner there. 5.5 minutes, he really was looking very quick. Look how easily that car glides over that entrance curve. That is absolute cheat codes right there. Insane the way the Mercedes goes over the curves. I'd be joining NASA if I tried that in the Ferrari 296. No fear for Thomas Nopek in the Merc. The race win is right in front of him. We've got 5 minutes left to go. We've got 1.7 seconds separating the top 2 again. They've not been this close since lap number 3. The gap did manage to stretch out with 1.4 seconds. They came in, they took their pits, and it has been going in Nopek's favour in the last few laps into the final corner. Unless you count Deer's Leap as a corner, Kink corner. It'll certainly catch you out if you're not paying attention. Over the line, still at 1.7 seconds. So the our trading sector times have just matched one another through sector 3 again. Oliver Zubig looking good to hang on to 8th. Pithivier 3.9 seconds up on Benjamin Eck. Likely to get a penalty though. We'll see if that does change any of the stand-ins. Could be a penalty of anything from 5 to 15 seconds with the stewarding. So could see Eck take that place. So make sure you jump on to the SimGrid host page. Keep up to date with all the championships as they're as they are happening. And yeah, get the full stand-ins once the standards are fully updated. Oh, Chris Williams in the chat. Oh wow, that was ages ago, 15 minutes ago. How we doing, Jix? Oh, Thomas Nopek, you're listening to those back tiles squeal. Poor stings, most definitely poor stings. All kind of things. I'm not even sure which poor stings it was 15 minutes ago, but yeah. Oulton Park has been a lively one. 1.2 seconds is the gap. Is Zakdal fuel saving? Is he having to manage this one to the line? That's 1.2 seconds we're now down to with 3 minutes left to go, and they've got a back marker. That is Sperla, who could not get out of the way quick enough there. Phenomenal stuff there from the back marker. Again, he's, by all accounts, it's certainly a race he'll be quick to forget, but not too quick. He has managed to stay the course, and he's going to get himself 12th place after some disconnects. Basolio getting 6th. His teammates' disconnection could see him take 3rd in the championship going into the penultimate round. What a gift that is. But at the minute, are we going to get the gift of a battle in the final few corners for the race lead? Let's see what happens through Shell Oil Corner. It is Zakdal, 36 laps done and dusted, 1.2 seconds to the good ahead of the fastest driver on track, Thomas Nopek. How mad will the Mad Panda Motorsport Mercedes be come the end of the race? Let's see what it says through the next timing line when they exit his lops and make their way up to the water tower. There is Pithivier. So that is the top 10 across the line and on the lead lap. So about half a lap down, so still very close up at the front overall. Stachecki is getting closer to Keddy. Not close enough to make any kind of impression on Keddy's drive for the end. Oh, and here we go. Thomas Nopek's within a second with 1 minute 49 to go. They're going to cross the line here and they're going to get another lap. And in fact, I'm sure Zakdal will be hoping he crosses the line with less than 1 minute 34 to go. He is going to cross the line with 1 minute 34 left to go. So this will be the last lap. Thomas Nopek crosses the line and he is back to 1.1, and it's a drive-through. Potter picks up a drive-through on his penultimate lap for track limits. Zakdal picks up the pace ever so slightly in sector number 3 to put the gap back out to 1.1 seconds. It looks like this one is a victory lap for Alex Zakdal. He took pole position in qualifying. He lost the lead lap 1, turn 1. Got jumped off the line. Stachecki with an absolute flyer for the rolling start. And he took the lead. Took a bit of contact, found himself down in 8th, back up to 5th, back down to 11th, now back up to 5th position. It's the first race he's not won this season, so yeah, the 5th place isn't going to make much of a difference to his position in the championship. It will change the points, of course, but he will still have the lead going into the next round against Zandvoort. It's going to be very good. Potter's going to have to come into the pits. Alex Zakdal, 2 corners left to go. He's got 1.6. If he was fuel saving, he's turned that fuel right back up to full. He's stretching that gap back out 1.6 seconds. Definitely going to be asking him in Discord if that was a fuel saving exercise towards the ends. Whatever it was, it's got the job done as Alex Zakdal crosses the line to take the win in the pure SimGear GT3 Masters Season 11 round number 5 at Oulton Park. Phenomenal work by the Aston Martin driver. Pole position and the race win. Thomas Nopek will, I'm sure, be very happy with 2nd place and the fastest lap. Melker Garby rounding out the podium. 3 different manufacturers on the podium. Ain't no McLaren dominance here. Marco Keddy bringing home 2nd Mercedes in the top 4. Christoph Stachecki, championship leader, took the checkered flag for 5th. Simone Basolio stayed the course and got 6th, with Kiko Gallo crossing the line in 7th. We've got Oliver Zewig bringing the McLaren across the line in 8th. Louis Pithivier crosses the line in 9th place, 6 seconds ahead of Benjamin Eck in the Porsche. Pereira, Sperla and Potter all a couple of laps down, but 11th, 12th and 13th nonetheless. Phenomenal drive by all the drivers up at the front. Let's just quickly do that and get confirmation. Oops. Of the race again in qualifying. As you can see, Stachecki and Zakdal exactly the same sector 1 time. Could not have been closer there, and there is confirmation of the results. Zakdal, Nopek and Melker Garby on the podium. This really makes it interesting in the mid-pack for the final podium positions within the championship. Let's make absolutely no mistake about it. Those valuable points for finishing really are going to serve the drivers well come the end of in the books, and what a round it was. I'll leave you with the highlights, of course, once again. And we look forward to Zandvoort next week, same time, same place. Until then, my name has been John Wright, aka Double O Raven. Been an absolute pleasure once again. And until next time, stay safe, take it easy, and have a great rest of your night. Good night.